this is the last episode of season 15. And I gave Bryon a call and I was like, hey, would you be interested in going out to Louisiana to do a fly fishing show? It's the absolute epitome of fly fishing at its finest. So we cannot fail, especially with you on the bow. It's impossible. I was like, and besides that, I owe you. This is kind of like what I would call the payback episode. Because what most people don't know is when we're at home, Bryon has been a camera boat for me. He's been a guest instructor on FlatsClass television. I don't know, probably half a dozen times. He's probably one of the most utilized guest hosts that I've ever used on the show as far as number of appearances. And it's because he's very qualified. So Bryon, we're here in the main Mississippi River. Two things you got to know about the Mississippi River is it's a dangerous place. That's why we got the big lanyard. Two, when you're looking at these charts and you zoom out, you see this huge zone in here. This is the head of the river. Now we're about halfway down. We're going to run up here to Main Pass, and we're going to probably run down and fish a lot of these ponds that are up in here. And what we're looking for, we're going to get in these smaller ponds where we can just find the grass and find the floating fish. And with the tide being full when we get there, it'll start to pull out. So I'll look for all these little funnels in here where the water falls back out to the main pass, and you'll be surprised on how many fish we'll see today. It'll be like nothing you've ever seen before in your life.
Looking forward to it. Ready to go, boss.
Well, it all started back when I first bought my first fly rod. You know, I just snuck it into the boat one day when I was going fishing with my dad, and he's like, what the hell is this thing here? And I'm like, well, it's a fly rod. And he's like, good luck, son. And from that point on, you know, I dabbled in it, you know, would play around a little, was fairly successful. And then I was like, you know what? It was so easy doing it with conventional tackle. I wanted a little more challenge, and then I got pretty good at casting and got pretty good at catching. So that was my evolution from conventional to switching over to fly.
Okay, there's a big fish on the surface. It looks like out there at your 12. See that fish out there?
I see a fish cutting across.
Yeah,
Two
there's
fish.
2 or 3 of them. 2 or 3 of them.
That was a Tampa Bay lead, by the way.
Too big a lead. They're still going to go to one side of it.
Just go put it on him.
Perfect. He sees it. He's after it. He got it.
He ate it twice, 3 times. It just kept coming.
I'm trying to slow the boat down so you get a nice skill shot. That was awesome, dude. Awesome. It is fun to watch you work. A lot of fun.
That was a Tampa Bay lead on him. I'm like, what am I doing?
You kind of stopped the fly line so it wouldn't spook him, and then the fly just turned over perfectly right out in front of him, and he was on it. He was so on it.
This guy wants to fight in the phone booth.
Yeah, he does. I'm gonna put the brakes on.
Yeah, that's fine. Nope, you're not getting in there, buddy. Swim left.
Yeah, tactfully
I'm
swimming
actually leading him,
around
walking the dog a little.
the mat. Those little grass patties are tough. And the more you can control the fish and just take your time and lead them around, this fish is actually small enough to deal with. He's only like 30, 31.
Doing him a disservice by not even getting him on the reel.
Is that not a pumpkin or what?
They are so orange here. Get out of there.
You let me know, I'm gonna jump down.
All right, whenever you want to grab his face. All right.
What a beautiful fish, gorgeous. They don't make them any better looking than that.
No, sir.
Now his rear quarter panel looks pretty rough.
Yeah, he's been doing a little racing. There you go.
Nice little fly. Got a little, what, a zonker tail on it?
Yeah, little rabbit zonker.
Is this kind of like a modification of a quan or a toad?
It's just a slider, or whatever you want to call it. I don't name my flies.
That's probably a
20,
well, if I pinch 'em
30,
down.
no, 30 inches.
Yeah, I knew it was 30.
My fish, which are, you know, a good one is like, hey man, I got a 24-inch redfish today on fly in Tampa Bay. And it's like, yeah man, that's a good one. You gotta double the length of that fish over here to even, you know, make the locals bat an eye at it. These fish are on steroids. They got so much food. I'm talking there's like millions of snails that everything was eating on the grass, and there was mullet everywhere. There were big blue crabs crawling around on the bottom as we were fishing. You could see them down there. It's like, that's why they grow them so big here. They have so much food to eat.
I'm at your 1 o'clock, coming right at you.
Gotcha.
I mean, he's huge, huge fish. He came right up high. I saw him out of the water. Got him. Got him. Dude, that is a monster redfish.
I saw it.
His head was so big, it looked like a giant black drum, but I think it's a monster redfish.
It
like
is,
a 40 plus.
100% red, I saw him.
Okay, next stop.
All right, like you said, we gotta go through the bushes to get them.
Here we are, we're gonna be doing some clearing.
It's all right.
Swamp mule. Probably the biggest struggle that we have is once we were connected to a fish, then you had to negotiate this subaquatic grass and try to figure out how you were going to maneuver through all this stuff and not pull a hook, because there's this uneven pressure. Once the fish comes tight and you get good hook penetration and it runs through this heavy cover, just wads of grass, it might break off at a 60 or 90 degree angle. Now you've got this uneven pressure where you're pulling here and the fish is way over here, like way over here. So you're trying to figure out how you can take all the grass off the line without having this crazy angle where this fish is either gonna pull the hook, straighten out the hook, or just somehow just roll over and you're gonna break the leader itself. I know you've caught some big redfish on fly. This has gotta make your top 5.
Oh yeah, easy.
Holy cow, dude. I'm betting somewhere between 36 and 41 inches, just from up here. He's huge. He is huge. Trying to figure out how we're gonna get him in the boat.
Just tail grab him.
That's what's gonna have to happen. I don't have a net big enough to net that one.
You ready?
I don't know, I'm gonna find out. I hope I'm counterweighted in there.
Oh, dude, do I need to pull you up by your back?
Grab my belt. Way over 40 inches, man. Way over 40. I thought you were gonna have to grab the back of my britches to keep me from falling in the water. Dude, that's 42.
Yeah.
At least.
That's a big fish. All right, I'll
Hoist it up. Hoist it up.
Jeez. That's a Louisiana tank there. gonna go ahead and tie up one of our redfish flies that we use today. It's just a simple little bunny pattern, and it's very effective. Head cement on there, tie on your thread, and then you wanna go ahead and place your weight of whatever size you want. You wanna start it off by figure eighting it onto your hook shank. If this one happens to be a medium size, we actually used large bead chain, and that's what made the difference in my opinion, because it would hover in front of the fish. Put a couple wraps on it, and now this thing will not turn unless you really break the seal of the glue. And you bring it on back, and we're gonna tie on a keeper for the bunny tail so it doesn't wrap around the hook shank as much, especially when you're changing directions on a cast. So you first tie in a section of 16 mason, wrap it on the bottom of the shank, and then you want to put your tail of the fly on. Tie it in, and you want to control your length, sometimes short, sometimes long, but you can always trim it out in the field. And then your keeper, I use a hypodermic needle, punch through the leather, make sure I'm square, come through it, and then you can feed the mono through, pull it through the leather. You could also use a hook point or a bobkin to make your hole, and then you have to just manually thread it through. This way, I'm able to just do it all in one motion. Tie it down, and now it kind of helps keep it from flopping around. And always try to cut from the top of the hook, because this is hanging down and you don't want to cut your bobbin off. Then a little optional, if you want to put a little flash up on top, there's a little bit of copper flash. You want to make it about the same length as your tail. Come in, maybe chop down this little extra. Next, you're gonna put in it looks almost like tinsel from on your Christmas tree. Redfish like goldy kind of colors. Now the secret with these guys, to wrap these around the hook shank, is called palmering, but you want to pull your material down so you do not wrap over it. And then we'll tie it off. Come back over. Again, go from the top, wrap a couple times. And this stuff here, you do not want to cut it with your scissors. Use a pair of fingernail clippers. Wrap that down. And the last piece of material, some more Enrico Puglisi 1-inch streamer brush. Behind it, capture it. Get it off, fold everything back, wrap it down tight. Give it a little cleaning first here. Next, we're going to put in a weed guard. It's easy to put a weed guard in here at the vise versus out in the field. This is 20-pound mason. You pull on it and it'll straighten it out. And we're gonna put a double weed guard in there instead of a single. So basically what you do is you pinch it down into a V, slip it over the eye, capture it, pull it tight, and then you're gonna wrap it down, build the base behind it. And then you want to spread these, capture each leg, kind of pull it down, capture the next leg, pull it down, then you wrap up front, wrap it down, cut it, Cut the length of these just so they're past the hook point. Cut your length. Give it a little brushing to make her pretty. And then some head cement, and you have a fly ready to fish. There you go.
Louisiana is one of those unique venues, something that's just outside the box. It's a rugged beauty. It's the type of beauty that has been stained by man, if you will, in a few spots, where you just look at these broken down pieces of machinery and patinaed sheds and facilities, and you're like, what is this smear on this beautiful palette of green doing out here? But after a period of time, you become very accustomed to it, and you realize how unique this fishery truly is, in the sense of how much life there exists here and how few people actually get to experience the marsh in the way that I do. There's got to be a floater in here somewhere. Right here, he's coming right to you at the end of your rod. Left, 9 o'clock, quick. You got it. One of the coolest things about guide-client or guide-angler relationships is it's a dance. It's a real dance, because one person determines the other person's success.
You're a team because you're on the front of the boat or the back, but you're only half the team. But together, you're successful if you follow each other's lead.
That is a big fish.
Yeah.
You gotta love it when they're that size.
Yes, sir.
That's another one, probably close to 36 inches long at least, maybe better. Big ones coming down the edge here. Do you see where the green grass is?
Yes.
It's a whole school of them there.
I got him. Oh, come on. Come on, you see it.
Got it. Do you ever miss? He never misses. Unbelievable. This is another 30-inch fish. 28, 29, 30-inch fish right here. I'm coming down. I'm gonna put the brakes on.
All right.
Power pole's in the ground. Power pole is in the ground, coming down.
Right in the corner of the mouth.
That tail, these things are so heavy, you just can't grab them.
Yeah, that's just the standard way. Once they're about 30 inches, you just gotta grab them by the tail and flop them in.
And it almost looks like their fins have light bulbs in them.
That's how it's easy to see.
They are so easy to see. I'll let you pluck that fly of yours out.
Got them good. There we go. All right.
You know, usually, Bryon, I'm pretty frustrated with fly guys pulling around, giving them so many shots, but you know, you're making this a lot of fun even for the back of the boat guy.
It's always fun in the back.
All right, here we go. We're gonna put him in. When you have Chamberlin on the front of the boat and he's seeing fish and he's got a fly rod in his hand, it's almost a guarantee that nearly every presentation is going to get serped. That's it. You see that? He ate it. He ate it, man. I mean, ate it.
Try to eat it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh,
Right
there
there
he
in
is.
front of you.
See it.
Nice! I would be remiss not to thank Ryan Lambert's Cajun Fishing Adventure staff here. The guides here are extremely beneficial to me. I have to thank Captain Ross for being the camera boat today. He was fantastic. In fact, my guys, Jared and Reed, got to actually fish on the last day and kind of experience how good this stuff really is. Even the camera guys can have a world-class experience. And then Captain Bryon Chamberlin for making the effort to get out here to me and fish with me. He's just one of those guys that is not overqualified, but one of those guys that I am proud to call my friend. This is how we cool off our anglers on the boat. Give them a little drone breeze. You thought just because there's no mangroves here, you're gonna have no problems, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Guess I'm wrong.
I mean, you're elbow deep in duckweed, roseau, hydrilla. I'm gonna just keep scanning out here because I'm sure this fish is like 60 feet away from us by now.
I hope this is making you grin.